Hi all, welcome back to the Truth Seekers channel. I'm gonna read again from the Book of Enoch. I was from chapter 77. Yeah, it's a very interesting book. There's a lot of things in here. This book is older than the Bible. It's like part of the Dead Sea Scrolls. They found it not long ago. You can take a look at the history. I made, you can see the introduction movie. I made one, Introduction to the Book of Enoch. That shows the history of the Book of Enoch, and you can get it all over the place, free ebooks. So, and let's see, Wikipedia. It's an Hebrew ancient book, ancient Jewish religious work. So there's a lot of text out there. It's a holy extant only in the Ge'ez language, with Aramaic fragments from the Dead Sea Scrolls and a few Greek and Latin fragments. So if you want to look into that, you can check out Wikipedia. I will continue reading because I find it very fascinating. I have not read it myself, to be honest. So I'll continue quickly. Chapter 77. They call the first quarter Eastern because it is the first, and they call the second the South because they're the Most High descends, and they're especially the one who is blessed forever descends. Make it bigger. And the western quarter is called waning because there all the lights of heaven wane and go down. And the fourth quarter, named the north, is divided into three parts. And the first of them is the dwelling place for men, and the second contains seas of water, and the deeps, and the forest, and rivers, and darkness, and mist. And the third part contains the garden of righteousness. I saw 7 high mountains, which were higher than all other mountains on the earth. And from them snow comes, and days and times and years pass away and go by. The 7 mountains is fairly accurate. There are indeed mountain chains with 7 mountains. Check that out on Google. I also have an episode on the 7 high mountains, in which I think the mountains are in Norway. Okay, I saw 7 rivers on the earth, larger than all the other rivers. One of them comes from the east and pours out its waters into the great sea. And 2 of them come from the north to the sea and pour out their water into the Erythraean Sea in the east. So Enoch describes in details how these waters flow. That's like really amazing without modern technology. And the remaining 4 flow out on the side of the north to their seas, to the Erythraean Sea, and the 2 into the Great Sea, and they discharge themselves there, and not into the wilderness, as some say. I saw 7 large islands in the sea, and on the land, 2 on the land, and 5 in the Great Sea. So 2 islands on the land. Wow. The names of the sun are as follows. The first Oriaris and the second Thomasus. The moon has 4 names. The first name is Asonia, the second Ebla, the third Benasse, and the fourth Erae. These are the two great lights. Their disk is like the disk of heaven, and in size the two are equal. The sun and the moon are of equal size. In the disk of the sun are 7 parts of light, which are added to it, more than to the moon. And in fixed measure, light is transferred to the moon until a 7th part of the sun is exhausted. And they said, go into the gates of the west, go around the north, and rise through the gates of the east, and of the face of the heaven, on the face of heaven. And when the moon rises, it appears in the sky, and has a half of a 7th part of light, and on the 14th day it makes all its full light, of its lights full. So that explains why you see the moon lit in different shapes. And 15 parts of light are transferred to it until on the 15th day its light is full according to the sign of the year, and amounts to 15 parts. And the moon comes into being by halves of a 7th part. And in its waning on the first day it decreases to 14 parts of its light, and on the 2nd to 13 parts, and on the 3rd to 12 parts, and on the 4th to 11 parts, and on the 5th to 10 parts, and on the 6th to 9 parts, and on the 7th to 8 parts, and on the 8th to 7, and on the 9th to 6, and on the 10th to 5, and on the 11th to 4, 12 to 3, and 13 to 2, and 14 to half of a 7th part. And all the light that remains from the total disappears on the 15th day. And in certain months the moon has 29 days, and once 28. And Uriel showed me another law, when light is transferred to the moon, and on which side it is transferred from the sun. All the time that the moon is increasing in its light, it transfers as it becomes opposite the sun, until in 14 days its light is full in the sky. And when it is all ablaze, its light is full in the sky. And on the first day it is called the new moon, for on that daylight rises on it. And its light becomes full exactly on the day that as the sun goes down in the west, it rises from the east for the night, and the moon shines for the whole night until the sun rises opposite it. And the moon is seen opposite the sun. And on the side on which the light of the moon appears, there again it wanes until all its light disappears, and the days of the moon end, and its disk remains empty without light. And for 3 months at its proper time it achieves 30 days, and for 3 months it achieves 29 days, during which it completes its waning in the first period, in the first gate, 127 days. And in the time of its rising for 3 months it appears in each month with 30 days, and for 3 months it appears in each month with 29 days. By night for 20 days each time it looks like a man, and by day like heaven, for there is nothing else in it except its light. And now, my son Methuselah, I have shown you everything, and the whole law of the stars of heaven is complete. And he showed me the whole law for these, for every day and for every time, and for every rule and for every year, and for the end thereof according to its command, for every month and every week. And the waning of the moon, which occurs in the 6th gate, for in that 6th gate its light becomes full, and after that it is the beginning of the month. And the waning which occurs in the 1st gate at its proper time until 127 days are complete, or by weeks, 25 weeks and 2 days. And how it falls behind the sun according to the law of the stars, by exactly 5 days in one period of time, when it has completed the pathway you have seen. Well, for me that's a complicated process. lot of numbers and counting, but it could be exact. Such is the appearance and likeness of every light which Uriel, the great angel who is their leader, showed to me. And in those days Uriel answered me and said to me, Behold, I have shown you everything, O Enoch, and I have revealed everything to you, so that you may see this sun and this moon, and those who lead the stars of heaven, and all those who turn them their tasks, and their times and their rising. But in the days of the sinners, the years will become shorter, and their seed will be late in their land and on their fields. And all things on the earth will change and will not appear at their proper time, and the rain will be withheld and heaven will retain it. And in those times the fruits of the earth will be late and will not grow at their proper time, and the fruits of the trees will be withheld at their proper time. And the moon will change its customary practice and will not appear at its proper time. But in those days it will appear in the heaven, come on top of a large chariot in the west, and shine with more than normal brightness. And many heads of the stars in command will go astray, and these will change their courses and their activities, and will not appear at the times that have been prescribed for them. And the entire law of the stars will be closed to the sinners. And the thoughts of those who dwell upon the earth will go astray over them, and they will turn from all their ways and will go astray, and will think of them gods. And will think them gods. And many evils will overtake them, and punishment will come upon them to destroy them all. Okay, starting again with the threats. And he said to me, O Enoch, look at the book of the tablets of heaven, and read what is written upon them, and note every individual fact. And I looked at everything that was written, and I noted everything. And I read the book and everything that was written in it, all the deeds of man, and all the children of flesh, who will be upon the earth for all the generations of eternity. And then I immediately blessed the Lord, the eternal King of glory, in that he has made all the works of the world, and I praised the Lord because of his patience, and I blessed him on account of the sons of Adam. And at that time I said, Blessed is the man who dies righteous and good, concerning whom no book of iniquity has been written, and against whom no guilt has been found. And these three holy ones brought me and set me on the earth in front of the door of my house, and said to me, Tell everything to your son, Methuselah, and show all your children that no flesh is righteous before the Lord, for he created them. For 1 year we will leave you with your children until you have regained your strength, so that you may teach your children and write these things down for them, and testify to all your children. And in the 2nd year we will take you from amongst them. Let your heart be strong, for the good will proclaim righteousness to the good. The righteous will rejoice with the righteous, and they will wish each other well. But the sinner will die with the sinner, and the apostate will sink with the apostate. And those who practice righteousness will die because of the deeds of men, and will be gathered in because of the deeds of the impious. And in those days they finished speaking to me, and I went to my family, as I blessed the Lord of ages. That was that. Thank you for watching, subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.